Hey everyone, welcome to the Electric Supercar channel. So last week we spent some time planning for the future. People were asking, is this build done? No, it's not done. We got still a ways to go to get this painted. So we're gonna kind of mix between I'll call this season 1 and then the next version, which is season 2. I really enjoyed all the comments. It gave me a lot to think about. So stay tuned, upcoming will be another episode to discuss the future build. So this won't be season 1. We're going to go ahead and get the passenger side ready for paint. Okay, I have backed in. I'm now going to focus on this side. Again, do some of the same things, fill with short strand fiberglass filler in other spots, do the guide coat, sand. Hopefully, from what I've learned last time, this should go a little quicker. Like I did on the driver's side, I put the rubber strips there, packed all that with short strand fiberglass filler. So while that was setting up, I did a guide coat and block sanded everything, and have two options. When there's a low spot, you can either keep sanding till it's not low, or you can fill it. So this time I ended up filling some spots. So again, right here on that was a little low, around here was low, and then just some spots here. So I'll let that set up just a little bit, and then I'll attack it with sandpaper. All right, this is after one time of the filling and sanding. So up here, I've got this part all flush, but again, that front panel is a little recessed, so I'll have to build up a little bit of filler there. This is all looking pretty good. This I need to add just a little bit more to blend it. Same thing up here, and even same thing back there. So not too bad, but just a little bit more. And then I had to redo some of this just to get it nice and smooth. There's lots of little lumps and bumps. And so this one I think is pretty good. Down here needs a little bit more help too. I marked a few areas that are a little low, plus one that's a little high. And then down here, it's just, I'm gonna call it lumpy. So I've got a long board that I'm gonna try and use to get this all a little bit straighter. It turns out that this side is a lot rougher than the other side. So this wheel arch is a little more lumpy, and again, the panels just had a little more offset, so I had to do a lot more blending here, back there. So I'm getting close. I've still got, again, just some spots where I'm shallow. I need to fill in there, but we're actually now, I think, to profile, it's more just almost, call it surface finish. But I do need to add, a couple more places. So down here, you can see just a little bit shallow there and there and there. So I think this will be the last time I have to do the filler. And then I think I'll go back to the guide coat. I think I have everything blended pretty well. That one there, again, that's blended pretty well. This side in general is worse than the other side, so my blends have got to be a lot deeper. Here you see how deep, there you see how deep. But I think we're about to the point where I'm going to do some more guide coat. I'd still have trouble even with the guide coat seeing things. I don't know, I'll try guide coat first, but if I can't see things, I might need to throw down a layer of white and then do the guide coat. I also need to make sure all my gaps are even. Right now I've got, some of these are a little thin just because as I was spreading, came across the gaps. So I need to trim those up, make sure it's all even. Okay, one panel gap down. That one is good. Good all the way through. So now we're going to go on to the bottom and up the side. While we are looking at this time lapse, let me take a moment to tell you some of the things I've learned. So first, none of the panels are flat. I'm sure that's probably the case with most cars that people work on. I will tell you the sanding blocks help a ton to kind of make sure that as you're sanding that you are sanding flat and not creating a bigger divot or gouge more out or make things uneven. The other thing I'll say is the guide coat has been a tremendous help. It really helps you identify where you've sanded through and where you haven't. There comes a point where you need to decide, okay, should I add a little more filler or should I keep sanding? So either way is probably okay. I found there's a good balance depending on how much you need to do. I'll also say it takes quite a bit of filler to blend. Just when I had a small offset, maybe like 1/16 of an inch, I had to use filler like a good foot back to kind of blend it so it's nice and flat and even. I put on the filler underneath with my kind of rubber spacer, so I got that gap all even, and kind of after the fact just kind of checked it, just kind of had to sand a few places. This one was also a little tight, so again just kind of had to sand over there. The top is good. It's like here. This part, I think I kind of bridged the gap, and then when I went to open it, kind of broke the whole section there. So I need to kind of refill there, and there's probably just a couple other corners that aren't quite full. Other than that, I did put a guide coat on everywhere and hit it with the 150 grit. So I'll probably fill those last little spots, do maybe one more guide coat to get it to like 240, and then I'll probably hit it with the white primer. All right, I'm taking a little break. The gaps are looking pretty good. I got to fix just again a couple up here. So what I've been doing is I'll put the filler on while it's setting up. I'm kind of block sanding the rest of the car. So again, pretty good. I've got to put just a little bit there, and then again just a little bit more there. But right now what I'm doing is I'm doing the 240, and what I've learned is that wet sanding allows the sandpaper not to clog quite as much. But man, it is looking so good. I realize you can't see, but it's just so smooth. So I've got up there done, up here done, so I've got to just kind of do the rest here. And again, just a little more filler in a couple places. And then I think it'll be ready for the white primer. One of the last things I'll say is the short strand fiberglass filler, the regular filler, as well as glaze putty, all those things tend to make for a camouflage. And it becomes really challenging, at least for me, to kind of see where I've sanded, what's smooth and what's not. So I'm still very interested in all the tips and tricks you guys have learned. Please leave them in the comments below. I have been working on the panel gaps. So those are looking really good. Again, down the side, across the bottom. So I'm pretty pleased with all the panel gaps. And I just need to kind of clean up. Got a lot of dust and stuff. And I've got the rest of the bodies kind of sanded, wet sanded to 320, just around the panel gaps where I've kind of done a little work. I need to kind of sand that as well. But then I think it'll be ready for some of the white primer. Okay, I put a layer of the sandable primer on. This time, I guess on the previous side, I tried to kind of just do it like one continuous thing, trying to have a wet edge the whole way, and that didn't work. So this time I tried kind of doing segments, and I'll say that in the segment was good, but like where I kind of stopped and started got lots of issues there just with either overspray or runs. So yeah, I really just need to buckle down and get a compressor and kind of do this right. But for now, I'll kind of let this set up. I'll sand it. There are, again, some pinholes and other things that are just hard to see with the camouflage. So we'll sand it and kind of try and fill, and I think we'll be pretty much there. Right after we got it all painted and looking good, we've got some pimples. Basically what I did is I kind of took that light. I feel like the directional light really is able to kind of cast shadows even on the smallest pinholes. So any sort of little tiny defect, I just put some glazing putty on it. And this will do a couple things. As I go back over and sand it, it'll kind of help me make sure that it's all taken care of. So first, I think I'll do like 320, kind of do everything. Thinking even maybe wet sand at 320, just because I feel like it helps things not get clogged. And then maybe I'll go to like 400 or something. And I think at that point, I'll say this side, the front, the other side will be ready to go. So I did mark up kind of areas in the front, and then as well as areas on this side. I know it looks like a lot, but these are like tiny imperfections, so we should be pretty good. I sanded all those little blemishes, so it's now looking really good. This is probably about as good as I'm gonna get it. I'll call it 3 sides done, so left, right, and front. Here we are with the passenger side done. A little speckled. I think it's looking really good though. Alright, it was bugging me just to not have a kind of a nice clean base, so put another one layer of the white sandable primer on, and it just looks really good. I don't know how well you can see it, but just getting nice sharp lines, nice even look. Again, the block sanding, I've learned a lot. This is the same thing on the other side. I don't know if anybody's got hints, but I try as hard as I can, and I still find kind of imperfections. So if you guys got some extra hints on how to kind of find and maintain all of them, let me know. So today was one of the last nice days I think will be of the year. We're already late November, and the time for driving this guy is probably about done till spring. So I've got the lift down. I'll probably put it back on the lift one more time, although I'll take it out and around. With all the sanding and painting and sanding and filling and more sanding, there was some way I had to get the dust off the tires. So that's a new one I found today. Fiberglass has got cracked right there. Likely the seat belt was kind of down and sat on it, but still, that's pretty wimpy if you ask me. All right, it was time to clean up. Things were just getting really dusty, tracking in the house. Not a good thing. The other thing is when I would take videos, Google tries to categorize like what it is, like if it's a person, a dog. Most of my videos said like car clutter. So this is an attempt to have it just say car. All right, got it back on the lift. Again, this side's looking really good. The other side's looking good. I did have to clean off the tires. There's so much dust on there, so I hope you enjoyed that. But yeah, it's looking really sharp. All right, everybody, that does it for this week. See you next week.